gosh. Muffin's experience has a level of time. The little spikes can take extra damage.
But he makes it through.
Wow. Save anywhere for it.
Oh! Muffin! Oh, Wilson! Wilson!
What are you doing? No,
What are you doing? No, still. Oh! Health reach! Oh! Health reach! I'm saving him again!
Guys, I hope he remembers that top left keystone, because that's dash. That's huge.
Oh, he forgot it! He doesn't remember. Oh no! Good evening, everyone. It is a pleasure to have you back for more Ori and the Blind Forest randomizer action here tonight. Got the late night match coming to you right now between Sigma and Shed. It is a 3-1 versus a 4-0 here. One of our only mismatched pairings between as a result of the Swiss weirdness, but should be a very good match. My name is Vol'jin. I'm here with Aiko. We're going to bring you the commentary. Aiko, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing great. I am super excited to see this match. As you said, it is a 3-1 match versus a 4-0 in our singles round. That means that, or in our Swiss singles round? Yeah, sure. What that means is both of these players have already, in fact, qualified for the bracket stage, as you need exactly 3 wins to do so. So they are playing for seeding and for rivalry. Though the records are mismatched, I do not think that they necessarily accurately reflect what we're going to see from our runners. Sigma, the father of the Ori randomizer, is very good at it, but of course Shed is no slouch either.
Yeah, I mean, what we're seeing here, Aiko, is pretty much just that Sigma was the one who happened to get the opponent who made him blink first. But as is the case in this Swiss type of tournament, eventually, as your record continues staying good, you're going to play harder and harder opponents, and eventually you will find one who is as good as you. And in Sigma's case, he faced another one of the top rando players to do, and I don't think this matchup is much of an exception either. Both of these players are definitely scared of their opponents today, as opposed to the random ones they might draw at like 0-0.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a very high-level match where we're going to see all sorts of incredibly good strategies, and also maybe some Sea Flame burn.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. I mean, it's not like Sea Flame burn has ever killed anyone in a race completely like this afternoon. Definitely.
I don't think we've ever seen Sea Flame burn do anything but good things. Why, just earlier today I heard that Hydra got dash from it, and our runners have a keystone, and that's actually important, so we should probably talk about that maybe.
That is true. We, of course, as always, the keystone being one of the most common starts that you can get, and so Shed, having turned on color shift on his side, the rando feature that allows you to automatically changes your color, that is, when you get a pickup, and he decides he likes this first color, which is a little bit kind of blending in with the background, but he turned off color shift to keep it, so go figure. And here's the second map, keystone.
Yeah, so with 2 keystones, our runners can head left into the Sunken Glades wall jump area and grab some nice, delicious skill-less pickups, or pickups that you can get without skills. And this means that even if they don't find wall interaction or anything else, they'll be able to get the wall jump tree, the keystone by the map stone, and then the EXP under the Frankie, in addition to the 4th health cell. So that does open things up.
I love the sync we've got going on here between both runners as they go on to the next set of keystones. This is hilarious, to be quite honest.
Yeah, it's
the same movements.
Like, the colors are really the only thing that like makes it like very clear that this isn't a sync tree. This is a little eerie.
These are both, of course, experienced all skills runners. They both have 29s. In fact, I think their PBs are just seconds apart, or maybe even second. And there's they check fake flippers at the exact same time, and they claim an ability cell and then take a death because they don't. Neither of them feels like they really need that. And oh, Shed taking the slight lead there. Oh my goodness.
It's all over for Sigma at this point. Basically can't recover from that like half a second lead that Shed picked up around fake flippers. Oh no. Oh wow, actually it opens up more as Sigma's slightly more cautious dropping. I can't keep doing this too.
No, it's impossible. Well, Shed's gonna drop in his first mapstone and get another keystone, so we're already up to, I think that was 5 total keystones so far over the course of episodes so far. That's pretty crazy.
I think we have only picked up keystones and mapstones, discounting the ability cell from fake flippers. So that's something.
Yeah, it makes for an interesting start. Definitely lends some, you know, some credence to the idea that maybe we're heading into Spirit Caverns in the near future. Right now, Shed is actually just going to go ahead and drag the block over. He thinks there's a high likelihood of getting wall interaction in that particular pickup, which there was. So Sigma and Shed now, again, both just doing the same thing, continuing on the wall jump loop up here, and we'll see what the next pickups for them are.
Yeah, and with wall jump, that really just opens up the rest of this area. I actually really like the dragging that boulder out by Shed. I guess if that pickup were charge jump or something else, it could have been like some wasted time, but it seemed like a pretty high percentage play, honestly, and it did pay off, saving him those precious, like, I don't know,
frames,
second?
maybe.
Like, well, like, because you have to run back and grab the rock again if it's wall jump, right? So it's like a second, maybe.
In either case, both runners coming into their wall jump tree at practically the same time, so not really having any major differences from the movement so far, and we're up to now 7 total keystones. Shed is circling that keystone count with his mouse to just kind of like, to drive home the point, like, what are all these keystones, dude?
Yeah, I mean, well, keystone, since you asked Fooligen, unlock keystone, which are scattered throughout knife. Alright, it looks like both of our runners are going to be heading into Black Root Burrows. Which is, I guess, like a pretty reasonable play, and definitely the kind of thing I would expect out of both of them. It's like here, and if they're assuming that they're not going to get any skills in Spirit Caverns that would make Black Root faster, you might as well do it now. And God, the sync is just unreal. Like, leveling up the same skills, get the same cutscene at the same time.
It's not that surprising when you think about what, not just what skilled runners these players are, but of course just the comparable level of skill, which is just very, very similar. Again, just being within seconds of one another, doing many of the same strats in their runs. Ditto for Randomizer, they have a lot of the same thoughts about how you route it. Both are very good at the Randomizer, so we'll definitely be seeing a lot more of this type of deal. Sigma having to wait just a little bit on his platform cycle there to be able to not die, so Shed being able to catch up just a little bit. And Sigma getting a little bit flustered by this jump here, but now he makes it up, collects 46 XP.
Yeah, and one thing we saw slightly differently there, besides that jump, was that Shed dropped a save right before he jumped across the pit. I really like that. Definitely preventing, or a great place to make a save, because there's an energy crystal right there at up top, so you really don't lose anything by making that save, and you save yourself potentially much time. A death there can be really bad, and those spikes deal 3 damage, and most of the places where you fall into them, you can't get out with only 1 damage boost.
Well, speaking of falling, Sigma unfortunately missing his jump across the gap there in Black Root Burrows. That is a very precise jump, so missing it is not the most surprising thing in the world in general, but seeing it from Sigma here in this race is a little bit surprising. And what's also surprising is seeing a water vein in the roof of BRB with no clue here.
Yeah, so now they have the water vein, which is nice, because honestly I feel like the dungeon key that like is just frequently the worst is the water vein. Like, I know that shouldn't be like a different thing. Oh no, Sigma's orb drops onto the platform on its way up, so he has to wait another 8 seconds.
Oh,
Shed
boy.
very happy about his water vein, spamming plenty of Alt P. Alt T? Alt T, yeah, that's the one.
Some interesting BRB action for Sigma. He's certainly going to wish he had had a little bit of a different experience here. He goes ahead and leaves his orb on the floating platform there, so it's going to go ahead and despawn, and that way he can just let it chase him into the next room and respawn here. It does the same thing on the platform, except that he's able to jump onto the platform this time, so no foul there. Meanwhile, Shed will check out this mapstone and we'll get the next little bit of information. It's free experience. Wow.
Not very much information, really. Yeah, so Shed's also going to grab his second tree, gets an ability cell, still has a bunch of keystones. We really haven't found much in this Black Root.
Well, we haven't, and you know that kind of plays into that early routing where They both had the million keystones, so I'm guessing they felt like it was pretty likely they were going to need to go out the top of Spirit Caverns. And if they thought that, then what they might have expected is that the seed is going to guide them to continue around, like the slow travel around the right side, starting from there, which means that maybe there's something in BRB that they would have wanted to continue. So I think this is kind of like a hedge play against that, saying instead of going to Spirit Caverns first and doing Charge Flame Tree and assuming that's the dead end, instead we'll go to Blackroot first, do Dash, and then assume that's the dead end.
Yeah, I think that seems pretty reasonable, and also it's you want to do Blackroot right after you Alt-R, and they both have like a natural Alt-R point, so it makes a lot of sense. Oh, this is really interesting. Sigma actually opts to keep the Keystone, I think because it guarantees him the 6 that he needs to open the Spirit Caverns door and then the one at the top. So he's, as he often does and is an advocate of, is going to gambles on the Raziel No experience, which we saw Shed pick up, not be a progression point or anything interesting in logic. Again, skipping this area decision that's never harmed anyone ever, but maybe Sigma's of the opinion that it happened once today, so it's probably not going to happen twice.
That's right. Lightning never strikes twice in the same place, Echo.
Yeah.
I think this also does... It's a little bit risky in this case, too, because they don't have a lot in the way of progression yet. They haven't gotten some of those key skills. They've only pretty much gotten keystones, so there is some chance for this to backfire, but there's also some chance for it to just be the correct play and save him about a minute.
Well, so this is interesting, because what Shed found down there was a health cell, but he also got to turn in Mapstone too, which it'll be a while before Sigma gets to do a chance to, and he got the Grotto Teleporter. So if the progression is Charge Flame and the whole let's have an unhappy hike all the way through Hollow Grove, Shed can just teleport to Grotto.
That's very interesting, and again, that is also a potential play that could have upsides and downsides. And we do also see on Sigma's side, there were keystones in Spirit Caverns, so he ended up being up 2 extra. Shed will end up being up 1 extra because of having skipped that one. But yeah, even that could have some consequences, because if he goes to Grotto and it turns out there's something up in the Spider Sack area and Sigma takes a slow trip through there, then Shed is going to be missing out on that. And that, you know, again, can vary in the amount of importance depending on what specific thing he misses out on.
Yeah, and so now we have Shed going through the Spirit Caverns as Sigma is watching a cutscene or skipping the parts of the cutscene that he can. But what we saw from Sigma was all there is in here is keystones and experience. Our runners really not finding much in the way of resources. So now they're down to 2 areas left in logic, and that is just the Charge Flame Tree itself and the experience below it.
Yeah, and I think at this point you're just looking at these and you're like, okay, the progression is here, what is it? And my guess is that the XP or the tree itself, I mean, I guess those are the only 2 things.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the XP personally, but we'll see the tree momentarily. Okay, the tree is just 40 XP, so it's the XP, and I'm guessing it's Charge Flame.
Yeah, Charge Flame would certainly be the most obnoxious thing for it to be right now. Okay, sorry, second most obnoxious thing. I think the most obnoxious would be the Swamp Teleporter. But we will see in just a second. And it is Dash. Oh, wait.
Oh, that puts Raziel No in lock.
Yeah, it does. Well, it puts the area behind Raziel No in lock. Okay, so that Grotto Teleporter is intended progression.
Totally is. Holy crud.
Oh, that's so good.
I guess that's kind of worst case for Sigma. I think Shed is going to come out ahead of this a little bit, especially since Sigma just got knocked down there. But, like, Shed already having done Raziel No, this will immediately clue him in that, like, oh, okay, I'm not only going to Grotto TP, but also that is the correct thing to do.
Ooh, oh no, he can break that. There's a crystal here for energy. Yeah, the Charge Flame area is just full of crystals, and they respawn really rapidly so that you can't soft lock yourself. Which is nice. So the other thing this opens up, the Grotto Teleporter still probably is the progression, but the other thing that this does open up is the EXP on top of the, above the Valley Tree, or not the Valley Tree, the, Charge Flame Tree, which I think, I thought Shed was going to head back up to, but I think he's just going to head straight to the Grotto Teleporter as he puts the pieces together and realizes that that's, intended logic. And, oh no, Sigma, because he does this, didn't have the energy or maybe the ability points. He lets his frog die.
No, his frog's good, actually. He did glitch the boulder, and then he just let the boulder roll over the Frankie. And since the boulder doesn't have a hitbox at that point, there's our Frankie friend. He is totally alive and well, fortunately for Sigma. Well, I mean, it could be irrelevant, but fortunately for now.
Yeah, I mean, fortunately for his peace of mind, he doesn't know that it's not relevant. So, oh, this is interesting. I like this. Shed takes the Grotto Teleporter and immediately heads into Death Gauntlet. Not necessarily the most obvious thing to do from the Grotto Teleporter, but it is in logic with just the teleporter and wall jump. So I really like seeing him check that.
Of note right now, Shed only does have one keystone, and that could be a very important point. It could also be not important. It really depends on what he's going to find here in Grotto. As Sigma heads directly down into Gumo's hideout. He does not bother checking anything else. Probably kind of on the thinking that, like, well, all I've got is wall jump and dash, and so very little in the Grotto area is collectible at all, let alone in logic. So he's going to try to avoid wasting as much time as possible. Same that he's just going directly to double jump, checking this XP in the crushers, probably the keystone as well. And he's just going to go collect his tree because that is the main goal in this mode, is just get to the trees.
Also hearing that he might not have the ability point to have done the bridge skip, so that may be, he might not have wanted to farm out an ability point just to do the skip, and that might also explain why he didn't do oh no, he did do the boulder skip. What am I talking?
Yeah, the one thing he did skip along the way that also would have made some sense to do, the Gumo's hideout mapstone. Totally ignored, as well as the mini-boss. And the mini-boss is not at all surprising, but the mapstone was kind of just there. And speaking of things that are just there, there's Stomp.
Yeah. Over on Shed side, he's delayed his drop in because he wanted to do a check in. He did have the ability point, so he did glitch the bridge. He was able to check the vanilla water vein, which was an energy cell, and because he had an energy, he was now able to get into here and find Climb for his troubles.
Okay, that's an interesting find. We also did get our first... Oh, boy!
That's a very interesting find. He finds Charge Jump, which Sigma was not able to do on his first drop, but we will probably see him grab very soon.
Yeah, this looks like the repeat trip that will get him that, so he'll be okay in that regard.
But yeah, wow, a lot of skills in Grotto. So now they have... Oh, that looks like Shed set up the death intentionally because he didn't want to backtrack, honestly. But yeah, and now these skills between the two of them, that's Climb, Charge Jump, Dash, Stomp, and Wall Jump. A lot of movement, not a lot of aerial repositioning, but... Ooh, Shed gets a bit squished.
So Climb and Charge Jump are a really, really nice combo for Shed. Sigma does not have that, and he would have to go into Glide Vault to get that. Now, going into Glide Vault with Charge Jump now in hand for him would certainly be a lot more attractive, but first he has to think, maybe I want to spend the time to do that, and it's not that attractive. I do want to bring our attention back real quick to note that we finally got to see what the clue was from the third tree. Both runners got Charge Flame as their third tree, and they both skipped the cutscene from the tree animation, so they both kind of missed out on whatever that was. Turns out Sunstone is in Grove. That's the clue.
Yeah. Oh, Shed cutting it very close. He also came back for this this third energy from his chronological point of view because he found another one in the Hanging EXP, which brings him to a total of 4 EXP, which lets him check this energy door. And he's probably thinking, okay, 4 energy at right next to, or like 4 energy all made available right as I got to this door. Maybe I should check it out. Sigma doesn't know that, but he doesn't care. He's going to save drop and find out what's down here anyways. And it's nothing.
He'll actually Alt-R after collecting those things. So yeah, Sigma not having those extra energy, but he's just making do without. He's also, with Charge Jump, continuing to the left into Sunken Glade. So I think this might be checking out the above 4th health ability cell, and he might also be checking out the Spirit Cavern's ability cell. And maybe with Stomp heading into Valley entry?
Well, I mean, so he could do a save scum and, okay, he's not going to, but Charge Jump is enough verticality that you can get to the 200 EXP at Wall Jump Tree area. Maybe he's heading there now, actually.
Yeah, it appears that way.
This is nice, actually. We don't often see routing that lets you check this area, but it's definitely a good pickup to check to avoid getting randoed. Though, honestly, I'm not sure what skill... I guess they're still double jump, bash, grenade, any plant access. But no, it's just energy. Energy everywhere for these runners.
Well, that is kind of nice right now. It does allow him to go over towards the Death Gauntlet door, which also incentivizes him to go ahead and pick up the Frankie Walk pickup, and it wasn't especially valuable. Shed still being very thorough in Gumar's hideout, having collected like Charge Jump and Climb. He's got tons of options, so he's even going to check the mini-boss here, which is very quick with Charge Jump in hand. We're going to find out what this is. The Mapstone he picked up just a moment ago was... I didn't even notice what it was. It was nothing valuable.
Probably experience.
Oh, hey, experience.
Yeah, 5 entire experience. And then a lot more from actually killing the mini-boss. Yeah, he decided not to keep the Mapstone, whatever it was, after taking a bit of a face-first dash into the frog that was guarding it. He's now going to check the EXP in the Crushers, but if it turns out to be nothing, he can just get crushed.
Man, for a second, I was hoping Sigma was going to jump off the spinner using Charge Jump, but he did a normal route to get into the grenade tree.
Yeah, so Sigma deciding to just cross this grenade tree off his list really quick. I like this. It's not common that the pickups down, or the grenade lock pickup down here is actually anything interesting. And if you actually have to head into Lost Grove, the time loss from that being required is always going to be more than anything you might save by routing it efficiently. So it's better just get the tree, move on. He's got all the skills that puts him in logic.
And Shed now coming to the double jump tree. He will be collecting Stomp momentarily. There is definitely some question about whether Sigma will end up at the ow. Wow, okay.
Health regen.
Goodness for health regen, dude. There's some question about whether he'll go into the glide vault and collect Climb at any particular time. I think he's okay without, thanks to having Stomp. Anything that he would need to climb, Charge Jump, he's probably fine for. But there is, it just might be a speed deal as he's continuing to see.
Yeah, I mean, Climb is nice. It's actually really nice with Dash, honestly, in terms of like just setting up movement off walls. It can also become a major factor if they end up finding Grenade, because that would be grenade jumps for Shed. But yeah, for now we're just going to see Shed take this outer swamp loop, as people have been calling it, and I think we may see him head into, or at least towards, Ginso.
Meanwhile, I think for Sigma, he's just going straight to Swamp. I'm just kidding. He might have been going straight to Swamp, but he says instead, let's check out the Iceless area. Collect 92 experience. Get Wind Restored and Grove Teleporter. Well, Grove TP, actually, no, yeah, it's not useful. He already... Actually, did he cutscene skip that thing?
He did not. He watched it. I remember commenting on that. Okay, so that's interesting. So Mapstone 2 was the Grotto Teleporter, and Mapstone 4 is the Grove Teleporter.
Huh. So
Yeah.
which one is Sorrow? That's the real question.
Mapstone 9, probably.
Ooh. Please, no.
Well, I mean, they've got Charge Jump and also other things. One thing that's been happening, but we didn't really mention because we're good commentators, is that both of our runners have basically at very similar times gotten the ability points and decided to spend them to get Charge Dash. So they are now checking plants and usually stomping right afterwards to refund the energy cost, which means they have free plant checking. Pretty nice.
Yeah, it's a really great technique.
I think Shed is going to jump over the cutscene, come around here, and probably check a bunch of the things Sigma just checked, and maybe just that ability cell, but he's also going to get this teleporter, but then both of our runners are going to be heading into the Ginso tree.
Yeah, I like this play. You've got the Water Vein. It showed up really, really early. That, if it doesn't indicate that it was in logic, it still at least just gives you something to do that is pretty straightforward with Charge Jump and Stomp in your possession, so you might as well. There's the Sorrow Teleporter, as it turns out, just chilling in the Ginso tree, and Shed is actually doing some of the Hollow Grove main area before heading in, so we might see a couple more checks around here before he decides to go into Ginso. Maybe he's not even planning to do Ginso, but Sigma sure is, so at least we get this information from him.
Yeah, I would be a little surprised to see Shed not go into Ginso at all, but there are plenty of things he can check around here, so he can also say hi to Bird. Shed likes birds, so I can only assume that he loves watching the Kuros, yes.
Nice job by Sigma to make use of the 50 damage effect from Charge Jump, plus Charge Dash to deal quite a lot of damage to that mini-boss and then take him out quickly in 2 cycles. A couple more checks coming up here for him, and he does find a Grenade. So that is going to provide access to a number of Grove locations that might have been a little scary to think about, but now fortunately will be no problem. A little more XP, a lot more XP, and we'll be arriving at the Bash Tree now.
Yeah, so with Grenade, as you said, that does put all of the Grove locations in logic, basically.
Sorry.
So we're gonna go for it?
The Kumon seals in Ginso, so you know, if you want that.
Nice! That does also mean that we are not going to get our Sunstone Clue until the 9th tree, so that could be
No, we have that. It's the water vein clue
right.
that's never going to show.
Oh, oh, well, there's the Kumon seal.
Perfect, great. Everyone's favorite. I mean, we've got Forlorn Teleporter, we've got Charge Jump, we've got Climb, we've got... surely we've got enough to go do Forlorn. So what do you think is there?
At Forlorn?
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna say in Forlorn there's probably 2 Mega Health, 3 Keystones, Warmth Returned, 17x, 44x, 240x, and I'm out of ideas.
Alright, sounds good. Oh man, Sigma picking up Glide in the second set of Keystones. So Ginso really holding on to the goods there as Sigma is able to pick up both Glide and Grenade. Shed will pick those up. Well, Shed will definitely pick up Grenade. Well, even that, if he decides to go mode Ginso, then that's a little scary. But they're both right there, dude. They're both right there. Hopefully he'll get them.
I would be surprised to see Shed go mode so hard that he misses Grenade. Potentially Glide, but Grenade probably less so.
Great job by Sigma to stomp the vertically oriented, well, the left-right barrier on the way out of the Sorrow Teleporter, and taking a quick death here, but he is going to be duping in Sorrow Pass. He does not collect any Keystones along the way, so he's going to start 2, and he needs only these 4, I think, and he could, no, sorry, 6 total. Because,
yep. Yeah, Shed is really being very thorough before heading into Ginso, which is pretty interesting. And one thing I wrote, Sigma has used his Keystone, so I think he is not, or just hoping or planning on finding 1 or 2 more before heading to Swamp. Honestly, kind of reasonable. There are a lot of things left to check. And wow, Shed's digging finds him double jump in one of the plants in Grotto.
I would not expect there's any chance of Sigma finding that, but that's a really nice pickup, at least as far as mobility is concerned. But here's the problem for Shed. He's got 4 trees done. Sigma's already on 7. This is kind of crazy for Sigma. It's not even a limited skill set that he has either, but Shed's just gotten kind of the luckier finds, and it hasn't mattered because of Sigma just continuing to Ginso, getting those 2 ones that he needed. Yeah,
I mean, I'm not sure I would just call this lucky on Sigma's part. Sigma or Shed's part. Shed is being more thorough, so he's getting more skills, but it's taking him longer, and we're just seeing the consequences of that. And it'll just be a question of whether or not the increased mobility he gets from having that double jump and that climb and grenade jumps can make up for the fact that these checks are just taking longer.
That's true. And Sigma throwing in a few additional checks along his way, but in Clues mode, pretty much the meta for going as fast as you can conceivably go is just once you're in something that's pretty close to a go mode, like you think you've got enough skills to be able to finish up the video game, just go. Just start moving immediately. Meanwhile, Shed is trying to check out the bottom entry to Swamp, but does not have Charge Flame or Grenades, so can't quite do that. But he'll definitely be capable of going in the top entry, so it looks like Swamp is his destination for now, potentially.
Yeah, I think he's just going through and clearing each area as fast as he can. With him heading this way, I am suspect that unless he turns right back around, what he's doing, I was going to say maybe he'll head up to Ginso now, but no, he will continue with his, lasers.
So I do want to bring attention to what Sigma might still be looking for, aside from Keystones, which he does now have 2 of, in fact 3 of, so he is completely equipped to get into Swamp. But here's one minor problem. He has currently lined up a bashless escape with no clean water. And that adds up to a lot of damage, and he also doesn't have Ultra Defense. And I'm not sure what his ability point count is, but I don't think it's enough to get Ultra Defense. So he's really going to need either that or, you know, some additional mobility or some additional health. So that's probably what he's going to be looking for the next little bit here, but we'll see what shows up first for him.
Yeah, without double jump in addition, it is really hard to avoid taking damage in a bashless escape. And I'm sure Sigma is confident in his ability to do a bashless escape, but he will need the resources to make that possible. Or bash, which he could find.
Or just save this, okay, well, I was gonna say save this mega health all the way until the final escape, but then he immediately took damage, so. Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, oh my god.
No!
Okay, so, couple things. One is that Shed found Bash. That's good. Two is that Bash is in a location where Sigma will probably find it, because it's right next to the Stomp Tree, so unless he decides to not check anything by the time he gets here, he'll get it. Third is that Shed doesn't have to deal with the lasers, but that's not great, because 4, Shed took a massive death, lost multiple minutes of, maybe like a minute and a half overall, but like, he has to go all the way back to the Stomp Tree from the teleporter, which feels bad.
Whew. Yeah, that is an oof of very large proportions, and very unfortunate for Shed. It's going to not only set him back just as far as the time is concerned, but like he already couldn't really afford a loss like that, and Sigma is just blazing forth. But yeah, there's that bash pickup. It's in the charge jump blocked pickup to the right of the Stomp Tree, which is definitely a candidate for Sigma to potentially skip, but it seems pretty likely that he'll end up picking it up. Oh, actually, yeah. Sigma has Ultra Defense already, so he is totally fine.
Yeah, and he finds a 7th health in the underwater pickup in the Death Gauntlet. Gives him a nice little refill, and another. That is 8 health. We may, in fact, see him skip that bash at this point.
And I think that would be totally fine. Even though he doesn't have grenade jumps, he's not going to get climb. There's no way he'll get a glide ball at this point. In fact... Yeah, okay, he's going to the top route. I was going to say something, and then, I don't know, my brain just didn't work. So it's fine. Thanks.
Mood.
Go to Swamp. Yeah.
Yeah. And as Sigma is go to Swamp, Shed is go to Grenade. And at Grenade, Shed will find not the thing he wants, which is progression. Actually,
Sigma forgot he has Grenade. I think that's what's going on here.
Yeah, that's a mood, honestly. It's not like he's needed it.
So he is still checking a few pickups, so there actually is a very solid chance that he's going to find find Bash, because it is a very, very quick pickup to go get when you have Charge Jump. If you don't have Charge Jump, if all you have is Bash, it's very slow.
Yeah. Happily, Bash is there, so they cannot be forced to do that. But yeah, I assume he will get Bash, and then from there just, well, this is his last tree, so he will grab Bash, head to the final escape, and he might be done before Shed gets those pickups in Ginso.
Yeah, it looks like Shed's putting off the Ginso tree, and I want to say that... I don't know. I actually don't know why he would be, unless he forgot that the water vent's there, or he has like a strategic reason. But I'm not sure what the strategic reason would be, given that he already has the clue for the other key that he might need to find. So it doesn't really matter, like that he might not get a clue by the time he goes in there, because he knows the Sunstone's in Grove. Which, speaking of which, Sigma needs to go farm up. I totally forgot about that.
Oh yeah, the Sunstone, right. They actually do need that to finish the game. Sort of forgot about that. I was like, alright, well, he's gotten all his trees. Now they just need to actually find the Sunstone. And that actually retrospectively makes Shed's play where he cleared all of Grove before going into Ginso make a lot more sense, and I feel stupid for not picking up on that before.
Yeah, that part definitely makes a lot of sense. The part I'm still confused about is putting off Ginso in general.
Yeah.
But I mean, we certainly can't get literally inside the mind of the player. Like, we can take our best guesses, but really it's just kind of up to whatever state of mind Shed's in, and however he processes the state of the race in his mind will pretty much determine why he feels a particular thing is the right play. So we'll see as he finishes up here, but for now at least he is still making good progress towards his trees, so this isn't a completely valueless play by any stretch.
Yeah, no, it definitely makes sense to hit trees, but oh my god. The Sunstone was the grenade-locked pickup in the Spider Sack area, which is the only pickup in the Spider Sack area Shed didn't check because Grenade was in Ginso. That's some hashtag unlucky right there.
I'm sure Shed's quite aware, like, okay, there's a chance it's grenade-locked, and I might just have to go to Ginso. Although, hilariously, we might even potentially see, well... Okay, probably not. I was going to say we might even potentially see the Forlorn escape play, except he doesn't have Glide, and Glide's in so I have a feeling he's
got the skills he needs to do Glideless escape.
Oh, God.
But, that doesn't make it a good idea.
Oh, man. Well, yeah, I think it's more likely he would probably do Ginso first and eliminate that as a possibility before doing that. But you never know. Maybe he's feeling like fun, and by that time... Sigma will probably have finished because he is already entering the door of Horu, and he just needs to door warp and do a pretty straightforward final escape. The only hindrance here is not having double jump Ico, and I think Sigma will be alright with that.
I don't know, Legend. Double jumpless escape can be pretty hard. You only get one jump.
That is true. That is how that works. Well, Sigma says he also only needs one attempt at door warp, so he's just going to move straight onto the escape with very little time spent on that. And we'll get to see a clinic put on by him most likely here. As Shed is working on Sara here, just a little bit short of energy for rocket jumps, but he does have climb charge jumps, and he's going to remember that and just make use of that.
Yeah, remembering climb charge up here is historically throughout this tournament basically impossible, so Shed, good job on doing that. And he grabs the energy and he will use it to instead rocket jump up here where he is presented with the I don't have glide problem.
Yeah, he's got charge jump, he's got double jump, I think he's got... Yep, he has triple jump now. As he's going to get started on this, Sigma taking a swim in his poison water, collecting a fish, doesn't have access to grenade jumps, doesn't need it. He's going to fish strats his way to victory and a 4-1 record. So GG to Sigma, just needs to hold right for a bit. As Shed pretty much just being defeated by Ginso.
Yeah, the Ginso tree is incredibly powerful, as we have seen across many seeds. It's tall, it is big, it contains glide and grenade. Although, honestly, I'm not sure if we can just say it was just Ginso. I think you could also say that a difference in these runners' styles ended up having a pretty big impact on how this played out.
Ouch. Kind of very rough death. Kind of rough. Very rough death. Sending Shed all the way back to Spike Cave where he had started. He had opted to try for a little bit of left Sorrow exploration, but unfortunately, taking that death, having to alt R back, and so I think this is the Ginso play right now, judging by this Swamp Teleport, and that should get him everything that he needs. And I agree. I think there were also some other aspects, and one big one was Shed was very thorough on checking tons and tons of pickups in Grotto, and Sigma just didn't, and he got everything he needed and was fine.
Yeah, basically that, honestly. Shed spent a lot of more time checking pickups in more areas, and he got more stuff for it, but he didn't get the pickups that he would need to go mode, and Sigma found those on the way to trees, and that's just sort of the clues experience. And was grenade in that plant?
That was Sorrow TP.
Okay, so Sorrow TP is what he's missing up. Skipping that.
I am interested by him go moding Ginso. That's kind of weird. He did check the XP, didn't he, in the hidden nook? But he didn't check the plant. But he has Charge Flame, and he's got Charge Dash.
Same. We'll see what he does in this next room, which is where Grenade is, I think. If he doesn't get Grenade, he is in for a bad time. Okay, so he is checking pickup, so maybe he forgot about the plan or decided that plants are terrible. He does get Grenade, so circles it, is very happy about it, or unhappy about it.
Yeah, I think he immediately realizes, because he has seen Sigma finish up with his 35-59. I think Shed's kind of realized like, oh my god, it was that, wasn't it? And I mean, it sort of was, but also, you know, I'm sure Shed can figure out a couple reasons. And I also don't want to like, I don't want to assume that Shed not going to Ginso was a mistake. It could also have been metagaming. He could have thought that, well, he's not going to get Glide, unfortunately. In order to get the Star TP, oh boy, I go, oof.
I mean, it could be worse. Oh no, he didn't get the Valley
Well, it is worse. Oh,
TP! Okay, well, we are seeing from the SRL chat that is it for Shed. He has decided that he does not, very understandably, does not want to make the trek all the way back to Valley, and then finish out a Glideless Sorrow. And then
that's pretty reasonable. Oof, just the rough, like combination of three things at the end there, and of course, I'm sure he already wasn't very happy with you know, the two big deaths that he took. Not really. Probably putting him in the right mindset at the end there to deal with like, oh my god, really, I didn't get the Valley TP. So in the meantime, Sigma has won. GG to him. He improves to 4-1. Shed finishing up the Swiss stage with the same record. So both of these players putting on a great show for us in the Swiss, and really impressive stuff. I'll be interested to see what they do in the bracket.
Yeah. And it looks like we have both Sigma and Shed in our on deck section, and we will be dragging them in for an interview shortly. So it'll be good to get their thoughts on this seed and the bracket stage in general, as they have both wrapped up with it.
Indeed. So we'll go ahead and drag them both in here. We have got Sigma and we've got Shed. And GG to both of you guys. And of course, we'll start with Sigma, our victor here. And just, was there any point in that seed that even gave you like the slightest pause? Like, you just blazed through that crap.
Well, I felt pretty bad when I missed the jump in Black, but then I just kind of like, I just was like, okay, just calm it down, just like play solid. And then I played solid, and it was like everything fell into my lap. Although I was worried for quite a long time, because I needed something for the final escape, and I didn't find it until Bash at like my last tree, so that was a point of concern, but I was still feeling okay about how it went.
Well, I know the on the way through Death Gauntlet near the end, you did pick up 2 health cells back to back, and I think with 8 health and Ultra Defense, you would have been fine, probably?
No, dude, I did it last week too. I couldn't have beaten the end section. Unless I did that crazy
without
climb and god,
without double jump, climb, or bash.
Yep.
That room is a bad time.
The exact same situation. Jeez, dude.
Yeah, so like that race was valuable to me because now I know, don't go to final escape if you can't do the last room.
Valuable lesson here from the creator of the randomizer.
Oh my goodness. Well, Shed, GG to you two, and the main question that we've been wanting to ask is, you know, you put off Ginso for quite a long time, and I just wanted to find out, was that a strategic call on your on your part, or was that more like, as far as like metagaming type thing, or was that more just like, no, I think this is not the place to go until later?
Yes and no, I guess would be the answer to that. I put it off because part of my like general strategy is to put Ginso and Misty off like for almost as long as possible, just in case you like that last clue whatever strategy, and so you don't want to have to revisit. And then I completely forgot for about 20 minutes that I had the Sunstone clue.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go to Ginso and Misty last, and yeah, no, oops.
Yeah, I mean, that makes total sense in a seed where you don't have the clue yet, because maybe you're gonna get the clue, and it turns out it's in there. Whew.
How are you feeling about your progress when you found double jump and then bash in on? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that's before that, the skill set we had, I was like, all right, this is kind of a good exploration skill set, but I'm not comfortable doing everything. Like Sarah's gonna suck, and I don't really feel great about the final escape. And then I found double jump and bash, and I was like, all right, this is good. I can basically go mode with these with a couple more health cells. Let's just go ahead. I still felt a little bit behind because I felt like I'd been checking a lot, and I know Sigma tends to check a significantly less amount than I do. So I still felt behind, but I felt good about my positioning there. And then I forgot my health total was really, really low and tried to go to Sorrow, and it didn't work.
Oof. That's a mood. It's like, yeah, I can do all this movement. And you can, but the spikes are still there.
Yes.
Sigma, I want to go back to early in the seed when it was after the fall in Blackroot. You wrapped up the dash tree, and then you had the check of the ability cell. You got a keystone. And at that point, there's that decision: do I keep this pickup or do I go do Raziel now? And given the progression that you got so far and all those other factors, what was the decision making process like for that point?
Well, if it had been experience, I would have tossed it away and I would have gone to Raziel low right away. But the read that I did on it right then was that, there's one in-logic pickup, which is just the experience at the start of that. So chances are, the entirety of Spirit Caverns that I haven't checked and like the Charge Flame tree are either way more likely to have the thing, so we're going to have to go through there. So I'm going to just burn like 6 keystones right now, and thus I really valued keystones, so I kept it.
Shed, I'm curious about your thinking at that same point, because you did continue to Raziel now.
I've been sort of thinking about starting to skip that in seeds, but I haven't fully converted yet, so I was just like, I might as well just go down and get the teleporter. It's a couple pickups. I know Sigma doesn't like to do this, so if I do this and there's something here, then I have a slight advantage there. And it turned out that was like intended progression anyway, so it worked out really well.
What was down there? Was that Stomp?
Grotto teleporter.
Oh, right.
Grotto teleporter from Mapstone 2. So the intended progression was you get that up through Spirit Caverns, then you get dash at Charge Flame, and then take dash into BRB. And get that Grotto teleporter with the Mapstone 2 turn in.
Yep.
Alright, so with this match, you're both finished with brackets. You're both ending with a 4-1. So I wanted to ask both of you, and Sigma, say you first, how you feel about your bracket run overall, and maybe what you want to see going into, your Swiss run overall, and what you want to see going into brackets.
Well, I lost the game, and I'm going to try not to do that in brackets.
All right. Yeah, okay.
This guy.
You did, yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, well, that makes sense. However, you can lose a lot more individual games in brackets than Swiss. You can lose one out of every 3. Oh, okay.
He's going to lose like 4 times against me anyway. If we match up, it's fine.
Wow. In a best out of 3?
Yeah.
Powerful.
Dang.
Because you have 2 opponents. You have your race opponent and the randomizer, and he's going to lose to all 4.
All right. Yeah. Okay. And I think that tells us what Shed's planning, which is absolute domination. But I mean, more seriously, Shed, if you want to if you have more thoughts about your bracket or your Swiss performance and what you're looking forward to, or who you want to face in brackets.
I mean, I did what I planned to do. I made it to brackets, and that's like where it starts really mattering. Everything is quite a bit more important there. So I'm hoping I'm gonna do well. But honestly, I'm just in this tournament to have fun. I don't think I'm gonna be able to take the whole thing down, but I'm gonna do as well as I can.
Well, having fun does sound like a pretty good goal, and sometimes you can definitely achieve that with the randomizer, and other times you get some of the seeds that we've seen in this tournament. But, oh my goodness. But yeah, thank you guys both for joining us on this call. Definitely like you both had fun tonight, so I'm glad. And I did too, and I hope you did as well, Ika.
Oh, I had tons of fun, Willigin. Tons.
I was hoping you were going to extend that sentence slightly longer because I still had to pull up the schedule so I could check what channel things
All right, like a ton is 2,000 pounds, which is really a lot of. Yeah. I
Okay, here we go. I found it.
okay.
I found stuff.
Sweet. All right.
All right.
I'm out of solid.
So, next action for the Ori and the Blind Forest Randomizer tournament will be tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Now, this is scheduled for the Speed Gaming channel. I don't know if we've been able to find a crew to do this match yet because it's so early in the morning. If we don't, it is between Cleanfell and Mad Insane. You can get some information on, like, you can get like a multi-Twitch to watch their stream or something, even if we can't stream the match. But we do have that scheduled. And then at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, on the main Speed Gaming channel, we will be having 3 HP Master Race versus Team Skillless for the doubles division. So good stuff coming up tomorrow. There's another one at 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time as well between Ocean and Flying Marlin. So make sure you guys tune in. As always, you can find the schedule at speedgaming.org/Ori. But for now, that is going to do it for us. Aiko, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Viljan. It's been fun.
And thank you very much to our truck tonight, which I believe was Ozzy and somebody else. Richard. It was Richard. Thank you, Richard. As well as our restreamer, Smashy, for helping us out tonight, as always. And to you guys for watching. Have a good night, guys.